Hi there! For this video, we'll be talking about the quadratic formula. So let's write that one down. Quadratic formula. So this formula is given by, if we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, its roots can be easily obtained by having this formula. So we have here negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now this formula is really nice since you can apply this to every quadratic equation example, including the previous examples that we had in the previous videos. The only downside here is that you'll need to memorize this one, so it's not very intuitive, and it will also require some skills in simplifying radicals as well as some arithmetic skills. Also, before we move on to our examples, note that these letters out here represents the coefficients. So take note of that. And let's move this one. And let's resize this to start with our example. So let's have it out here as a guide. So let's go on with this first example. Let's have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. To solve this one, we first determine the coefficients of these terms. So first, since there isn't a coefficient present here, we assume that it is 1. And we have 4 here and 4 here in the last. So the 1 here will represent the A, the 4 in the middle will represent the B, and the 4 in the last will represent the C. So with that, we can now solve for the value of x. So by the quadratic formula, this is equal to negative b is 4, so negative 4 plus minus the square root of b squared. Again, b squared is 4, so we'll have here 4 squared minus 4 times a in this case is 1, so this is times 1, times c in this case is 4, over 2 times a, which is 1. So we have this, and we simply need to simplify this to obtain the value of x. Let's move this one. There. And then let's resize this out here. So simplifying, we'll have negative 4 plus minus this radical. Focusing on this radical, we'll have square root of 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 1 times 4 is 16. So this is equal to square root of 0, or simply 0. And in the denominator, we have 2 times 1 is 2. So we have negative 4 over 2, or simply negative 2. And that is the answer for this equation. Let's go on to this next example. Let's have 4y squared minus 9 equals 0. Now, as you can observe here, there is a missing term. We are missing the variable y. So what we can do here to avoid confusion is we can move this one and add a 0y here. So now we can determine the coefficients. So for A, we have 4. For B, we have 0. And for C, we have -9. So don't forget the negative sign. And now applying the quadratic formula, we'll have -0 plus minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is -9, over 2 times 4. Let's simplify. We can remove the 0 here since it's just 0. Then we'll have plus minus the square root of simplifying this. No, actually, let's not simplify it first, since we can remove the 0 out here as well. And we have -4 times 4 times -9. Since we have two negatives out here, we can just disregard that one, since negative times negative is positive, and we'll have 4 times 4 times 9. Or we can write this one as 4 squared times 9 is 3 squared. So we know that this is equal to 4 squared times the square root of 3 squared, which simplifies into 4 times 3. So we'll have here 4 times 3 all over. In the denominator, we have 2 times 4. Cancelling out the 4 out here, we are left with plus minus 3 over 2. That is the answer. Let's go on to our third example. Let's have z squared minus 3z equals 10. Since the form is still not the same as what we need, which is ax plus by plus c equals 0, we manipulate this one. To do that, we first move the 10 out here to the left side of the equation to obtain z squared minus 3z. 10 going to the left side of the equation will become -10 equals 0. And now let's determine the coefficients. So we have 1 here for A, -3 here for B, again, don't forget the negative, and -10 here for C. So we know that Z is equal to -B, which is -3, plus minus the square root of B squared, or -3 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is -10. Over 2 times A, which is 1. So simplifying this, first, negative times -3 will be 3, plus minus the square root of, focusing on this one, we have -3 squared is 9, -4 times 1 times -10 is positive 40. So this one is equal to square root of 49, or 7. So we have here 7 over in the denominator, that is 2. And then we simplify this. So we will have two cases. we have z equals 3 plus 7 over 2, which will give us 10 over 2 or 5. And z equals 3 minus 7 over 2, which will give us negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. And those are our answer to this quadratic equation. Let's have this one final example. Let's have d squared plus 9 equals 5 times 2d plus 5. So in here, we still need to simplify the right side of the equation, since our goal is to make our equation in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. So first things first, we distribute this 5 out here. So we'll obtain d squared plus 9 equals 5 times 2d is 10d, 5 times 5 is 25. And then we move these terms to the left side of the equation. So we'll have d squared minus 10d plus 9 minus 25 equals 0. Simplifying, this is d squared minus 10d plus 9 minus 25 is, should be like that, and this one is negative 16 equals 0. Now let's determine the values of a, b, and c. So first, since there is no coefficient out here, we assume it to be 1. Then we have negative 10 to be b and negative 16 to be c. So we know that d is equal to negative times b, which is negative 10, plus minus the square root of b squared. So we have here negative 10 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 16, all over 2a, which is 2 times 1. So let's clear out some space first. And let's move this one out here. So this one will be equal to negative times negative 10 will be 10 plus minus. Let's simplify the radical. So to simplify this, we'll have the square root of negative 10 squared is 100. Then negative 4 times 1 times negative 16 is 64. Now instead of immediately adding this one, let's try to manipulate it to avoid large numbers. So note that we can write 100 as 4 times 25, and we can write 64 as 4 times 16. Just note this step is not necessary, but it's helpful in practicing our skills in simplifying radicals. Then we can factor out the 4 out here. So we'll have 25 plus 16, which is square root of 4 times 41. Since 4 is a perfect square, we can factor it out, or we can extract it out rather, to obtain, since 4 is 2 squared, we'll extract 2. And what's left inside is 41. So this becomes 2 squared of 41 over 2 times 1 is 2. And from here, we can factor out 2 in the numerator to obtain 5 plus minus, square root of 41 over 2. Cancelling out the 2 out here, and we obtain 5 plus minus square root of 41. This one out here is the answer. To end this one, here are 2 exercises that you can work on. Let's have, first is 2x squared plus 11x plus 15 equals 0. And next is 7x squared plus 5x minus 8 equals 0. Now you might be tempted to apply the factoring method or the completing the square method out here, but try it out for yourself. Try out the quadratic formula, since memorizing it isn't easy if you don't know how to apply it. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and feel free to comment down below your answers and solutions to these 2 exercises. So that's it, and that's all for this video.